Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Oh, no one got the teacher education memo, did they? Good afternoon. Well done. It's a teacher education ceremony this afternoon, so I thought we'd all be in tune with the teacher education vibe. My name is Amanda Nuttall. I'm the interim head of School of Teacher Education here at the university. I'm absolutely delighted to be here with you all this afternoon to celebrate the graduates of our School of Teacher Education. Before we get started, just a note, you may or may not have noticed it's quite warm today. Not quite as warm as it was Monday or Tuesday, so we've got the better end of the week, so well done. We have got air conditioning in the chapel, but if you need some fresh air in the ceremony, then please do use the exits to go out and get some fresh air. Our ushers are all around the room to help you, and they have water as well if you need any of that during the ceremony this afternoon. Today's ceremony is going to last about 45 minutes, and after the formal procession that you'll see shortly, there'll be 2 short speeches before the presentation of awards and prizes. As you, our graduates, step forward to receive your certificates, you'll see that the presiding officer will doff their hat to you, rather than shake your hand. COVID times. They'll then hand you your certificate, and at that point, friends and family, please do clap and cheer and share your congratulations with your graduates. After each graduate has received their certificate in turn, the student vote of thanks will be given before the ceremony comes to a close. So guests, please do sit tight here in the chapel for the whole of the ceremony. Now for the housekeeping points. My lifelong ambition to do the fire exits. We're not expecting any fire drills today, so if the alarm does sound, please use the fire exits safely. You'll find them located, I can't not do it, you'll find them located at the back and at the side. Always wanted to do that. Just follow our members of staff and they will make sure you're safely escorted from the building. In addition, the closest toilets are just down the corridor, so if necessary, again, please do ask a member of staff for directions. I'm really looking forward to getting started, as I'm sure you all are too. Congratulations to you all, and I hope you really enjoy your afternoon with us here. Now, if you're able to do so, then please stand for the ceremony procession.
The opening prayer. Let us pray. Lord God, we pray in thanksgiving for bringing us safely to this day. May we be truly thankful for the gift of education and for the family, friends and staff members whose support has made this journey possible. Bless those who graduate today. May they know your great love for them, and may they always seek goodness, beauty, and truth in all they do. May they use their many gifts wisely and generously, and work always for the good of the human family. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. Please be seated.
Chancellor, distinguished colleagues, guests, and of course graduates, I have the honor of declaring this graduation ceremony open. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 8th of our 2022 graduation ceremonies. Today, we are here to celebrate your success as you graduate amongst friends and family, peers, and university staff here at Leeds Trinity University. Your graduation ceremony today officially marks the formal completion of your studies and the beginning of new challenges as you start your professional careers or continue on to further study. What you have achieved should not be underestimated. Studying for a degree is intellectually and mentally demanding. It requires a great deal of hard work, perseverance, and determination. It is a major personal commitment, an investment in your future, one of the biggest you'll ever make. But studying for a degree also demonstrates confidence, belief in your abilities, and an ambition to succeed. And following years of hard work and dedication, you've done it. And today is a day of joy and celebration. It is my pleasure and honor to celebrate with you, and I know I speak for everyone here when I say how proud we are of each and every one of you. But today is also about the people who have supported you throughout your educational journey. Parents, carers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, husbands, wives, partners, children, teachers, and friends. Their contribution has been invaluable, and I am delighted to see so many here today to join the celebration. I am also honored to stand here today with my colleagues, your lecturers, tutors, and professional services staff who have supported you during your studies, providing you with knowledge and inspiration. Thank you to all. When I look out at all of you today, I feel a huge sense of pride in what you have achieved. You have made the most of the opportunities available to you at university, persevered in your studies during the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, and have excelled to graduate today. I'd like to take the opportunity to mention just a few students who have done this exceptionally. For example, Tyler Jefferson is graduating today with a PGCE with qualified teacher status in secondary education history, having kept going after she decided to suspend her studies for a year due to the pandemic. She has shown great commitment and confidence in returning and has made a real difference to her students. Tyler will be giving our vote of thanks later in the ceremony. Well done, Tyler. Francesca Weye and Jenny Vickers have also completed their PGCEs with qualified teacher status in secondary education, mathematics, and secondary education English, respectively, overcoming the challenges of COVID-19 to excel in their studies and be awarded the PGCE Secondary Education Provider-Led and School Direct prizes. Congratulations, Francesca and Jenny. This is just a flavor of some of the stories. And we are so very proud of every single one of you here today. Your time here at Leeds Trinity has provided you with knowledge and professional experience, ready for the world of work or further study. You have become independent adults, rounded individuals, and hopefully made friends for life. You may even have met your future partner. What is clear is that we have been incredibly privileged to see you develop and grow into inspiring individuals with bright futures ahead of you. And today, we celebrate the success of you, our 2022 graduates. Please remember this moment. Remember the people around you who have been on this journey with you, and the many others who have supported you. We are all immensely proud of you and your achievements. So look to the future with optimism and take your talents to the world. Congratulations, well done, and the very best of luck. I now invite the Chancellor, Mrs. Deborah McAndrew, to give her address.
Thank you. Vice-Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, fellow academia, honoured guests, and most importantly, graduands, congratulations. I'm looking forward to presenting you with your awards very shortly. It's always a great pleasure and a privilege for me to be here at graduation. Leeds Trinity University is a place that has connections for me going way back into my school days in the Catholic community here in Leeds. And 4 years on from taking up this role, it remains a wonderful surprise and a delight to find myself serving as your Chancellor. And it's particularly good to be back after not being able to attend graduations at all. And it's a real honour for me to be here for the first time at graduation with wonderful Professor Egbu, our new, not so new Vice-Chancellor. And this is my first opportunity, really, publicly, to pay tribute to Professor Egbu and the way he's taken up the reins in the most challenging circumstances to lead us with energy and vision. And I believe Leeds Trinity has a great future with him at the helm. Thank you, Charles. So, as well as congratulating you and presenting you with your awards, it's part of my brief today to say a few words and maybe a few words of advice. But what can anyone say after the past 2 years? You have achieved something that no previous generation of graduates have achieved. You've made this journey to this day through one of the most difficult times in our country's recent history. I know that the Leeds Trinity University staff have done everything they can to support you academically and pastorally, but nevertheless, your access to normal studies and your very particular extracurricular activities that are so important in university life have been affected by the pandemic. And it's impossible to overstate the impact that the crisis will have had on all aspects of your university experience. And yet, here you are, graduating in a heat wave. And I'm very pleased that I decided to do Thursday and Friday and not Monday and Tuesday, and well done on you for not having to do it in the blistering heat of earlier in the week. The weather reminded me very much of my own graduation in 1989. And the official photograph that then hung on my parents' wall for the next 30 years was very pink and very sweaty because it was a very hot day in Manchester, and I was permanently reminded of that as I looked at that photograph. But clearly, you lot, you know how to keep your cool. You've proved it. And the struggles and the triumphs of the past few years will stand you in good stead for what lies ahead of you. Only you, individually, personally, know what those challenges have been for you. But I hope that now you feel ready for anything. Since my graduation and my postgraduate studies, yes, I've got a PGCE in secondary education as well, including the world between then and now has almost completely changed beyond recognition, especially the world of work. And I'm sure that I remember back in the sort of the 80s and even the early 90s, there was still a sense that there was a defined career path for many occupations. And I don't think that's probably the case now. And although I'm quite wary of proffering advice based on my quite strange portfolio career in the arts, I think there's something about my fluctuating freelance experience that could speak to you now as you move forward into the 21st century employment market. The one thing that served me best over the years and has led to the most surprising and interesting experiences is openness. It takes confidence, or maybe a bit of naivety, to be open to the opportunities around you. You get better at it with practice, And it also means letting go of the need to be in control. I suppose what it boils down to is not being so fixed on a distant goal or a far-off future that you fail to notice or be inspired by or respond to what's right under your nose. In life, and I'm sure your friends and family and everyone here will agree with me here, that in life, all of us, at some point, end up somewhere we never expected to be. Embrace the random. Embrace the randomness of life. Roll with it, and it will reward you, I promise. And if you need to be in control, I expect there are some control freaks here. Some of you are looking at me with like, random? No, I don't do random. If you really need to be in control, then my advice is to do the job that's nearest. Just do what is in front of you. In that moment, do it well. Do it with all your heart. And the next thing will be along right behind it. There are times to strive and to fight in life, definitely. But it's also important to know when to yield. So be open, be flexible. And when the unexpected comes at you from the ether, say yes. Treasure and nurture your personal goals, of course. But as you leave education now to become an active agent in society, keep sight of the fact that your private ambitions impact on the world. When you consider and evaluate your level of success in life, don't forget to include your aspirations for the kind of world you want to live in. Ambition doesn't just stretch upwards, it reaches outwards also. Always make the choice that feels right for you, whatever other people say, however they judge you. And because nobody can see you getting up in the morning and looking at your to-do list. Are those things that you want to do? Are they things you do well? Will they make the world a better place for you, for others? What does a better place look like? In trying to achieve your goals, in striving, I advise you, if you'll take my advice, to make as many decisions as possible based on what it will make your day look like, your days. You'll find that the years are short. Years fly. Gone. I'm sure it feels like a minute since you arrived here. Years are really short. Days are long. You can hold a day in your imagination, but they're really long. Days are long. So make sure the days are the days you want to live. Those days will make up your life. Expect to be surprised. Expect that things will take an unexpected turn. Expect that there will be forks in the road. Prepare for those moments by nurturing the values embedded in the mission of this university, of which you are about to be alumni. I feel really proud. It's a really proud moment always to stand here and address a new cohort of graduates. And I look forward to hearing about your progress in the future. You know, I'm sure you'll all keep in touch with the university. I wish you luck. I wish you success and happiness and many glad surprises. Thank you.
We now move to the conferment of the awards and presentations of prizes for our graduates. My name is Sinead Miley, and I'm delighted to present prizes and awards from the Institute of Childhood and Education. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present the following graduates who've been awarded a postgraduate certificate in education with QTS. In secondary education, art and design, 11 to 16, I present Francesca Fraser. In secondary education, business studies, 14 to 19, I present Olivia Lawson. In secondary education, computer science with ICT, 11 to 16, I present Caleb Davies. Amira Khan. Natasha Mohammed. Eleanor Woodhouse. In secondary education, design and technology, 11 to 16, I present Tanya Roberts. In secondary education, drama, 11 to 16, I present Jill Fergie. In secondary education, English 11 to 16, I present Zara Akbar. Francis Allenby. Afros Asif. Cameron Edmondson. Jess Freeze. Abby Grant. Sam Lane. Nicola Paget. Aisha Rani. Zane Raymond. Daniel Rothwell. Homera Maksud Sheikh. Laura Turney. The following graduate is also the recipient of the PGCE Secondary of Education School Direct Prize, Jenny Vickers. Michaela Wilkerson. In secondary education geography, 11 to 16, I present Hannah Ferris. Amy Frost. Beth Mosley. In secondary education history, 11 to 16, I present Lizzie Elliott. Talia Jefferson. Samuel Myerson. Alexander Percival. Baljit Randwa. Peter Stedman. The following graduate is also the recipient of the Leeds SCITT Prize, Helen Whittam. In secondary education mathematics 11 to 16, I present Jawad Chowdhury. Sydney Goodall. The following graduate is also the recipient of the PGCE Secondary Education University-led Prize, Francesca Lee. Natasha Wood. In secondary education, modern foreign languages French, 11 to 16, I present Baptiste Claudel. Jacob Marsh. Zach Ruski. Gregory Schecht. Manan Versier. In secondary education, modern foreign languages Spanish, 11 to 16, I present Harley Botham. Lucy Ferreira Cavaleiro. Flo Martoreno. Laura Ovide Figueres. In secondary education, physical education, 11 to 16, I present Thomas Clapham. Jessica Green. In secondary education, religious education, 11 to 16, I present Faik Bhatti. Danny Mears. Emma Wright. Hannah Zayman. In secondary education, science with biology, 11 to 16, I present Nicholas Bell. Abigail Hoey. Aaron Malik. In secondary education, science with chemistry, 11 to 16, I present Frank Beresford. Jenny Hallowell. Anissa Khan. Yusra Khan. Agnes Kulmachowska. Kieran Lewis. Aisha Patel. John Strongman. Victoria Wayne. Sidra Wally. Olivia Woods. In secondary education, science with physics, 11 to 16, I present Musa Patel. The following graduates have been awarded a Professional Graduate Certificate of Education with QTS. In Secondary Education Business Studies, 14 to 19, I present Heather Ball. William Sotherington. In secondary education, computer science with ICT, 11 to 16, I present Hanzala Mohammed. In secondary education, English, 11 to 16, I present Tom McLaughlin. Neve Ryan. In secondary education, mathematics, 11 to 16, I present Suleiman Farouk. Ryan Sheff. In secondary education, modern foreign languages, French, 11 to 16, I present Oceane Delanoy. In secondary education, science with biology, 11 to 16, I present Kim Moore. Janine Nadeau. Chloe Stevenson. In secondary education, science with physics, 11 to 16, I present Aisha Khan. And that concludes the presentation of awards and prizes.
I now invite Ed Podesta from the Institute of Childhood and Education to give the congratulatory address.
Thank you, Nikki, and thank you, graduates. Hello, everyone. It's an absolute, enormous privilege to have been asked to speak to you all today and to congratulate you, this very special group of individuals who are graduating with us. What I want to do is talk about two great examples of teaching that we've run into this year in order to help us understand and celebrate not only your achievements, but also the great work that you are about to undertake. The first is the hero's journey. This is an analogy which is often used by teachers of creative writing to explain plot. We heard about this analogy on our first day together, albeit virtually, when I told you that you were going on a hero's journey yourself through the PGCE. On the hero's journey, the hero here hears a call to action which forces her to leave her normal life behind. She has adventures and trials which forewarn her of further struggles, and at times she faces the abyss, a moment when she is really, really tested. During these tests, she learns vital new knowledge, often called the elixir, which she then grasps, holding tightly onto it for her return journey. She arrives back where she started, but she is not the same person. Now, I guess that might have sounded a little bit dramatic to you at the time, but I hope you can now see that you have changed over the year. You've left your old life behind in some ways and learned new ways of looking at the world, new ways of thinking about how children learn and about how important it is that they're well taught. You've certainly been tested, and some of you have been really tested by the circumstances, often which are out of your control. But you have learned, and you have grown, and you return to your communities or to new communities with new knowledge, with which you will play an important role in the lives of the children in your classrooms for many years ahead. So the first great example of great teaching is you. You have done great things and learned a great deal, and you will now go on to make a great difference. The second example that I want to talk to you about is another from our first day together. On that first day, way back on the 13th of September, which seems like 100 million years ago now, doesn't it? You listened to a story that I had to tell you about a woman called Frida Dickel-Brandeis. You'll recall that Friedel was a teacher in Czechoslovakia in the 1930s, and that she had been rounded up by the Nazis and held in a camp in a town called Terezína during the Second World War, during the occupation of Europe at that time. Also in that camp, there were many children. And because Friedel took her call to teach seriously, she began to teach those children about art and poetry. You can see the work that they did together in that camp online, and we appreciated some of that artwork together on our first day. The philosopher of education, Richard Pring, who taught me when I did my PGCE, writes very movingly about Friedel and how important it was that she taught those children. Not just made them feel better or to forget their fears or feelings. Richard Pring says that she was, through the arts, enabling those young people to make sense, to refine their feelings, to embody the human emotions of hope, sadness, love, and fear. She remained an educator to the end. Now, I told you that story as part of the legacy of teachers, the important ways of looking at the world that we pass on from generation to generation of professionals. I heard it on the very first day of my PGCE, and now you have heard it again on the very first day of your new professional life, so that you too, we hope, will remain educators to the end. Well done, congratulations, and good luck in everything you do in the future. I now invite Talia Jefferson to give the vote of thanks. Thank you, Talia. Come on.
Thank you. Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, academic staff, respected guests, friends, family, and my fellow graduates. Hi, my name is Talia Jefferson. I'm honoured to have been asked to give this vote of thanks on behalf of the graduating cohort for the postgraduate certificate in education. When I was asked to give this speech, my first thoughts mirrored how I think we all felt at the start of our time on the course. Apprehensive, a little bit stressed, but more than a little bit excited. Standing here now, I can say that I was decidedly more intimidated by my first class of 11-year-olds than this audience, but how things can change in just a year. During our time on this course, I think it's safe to say we've experienced the full spectrum of human emotion. We've laughed, sometimes against our professional judgment when a student's made a joke. We've worried about deadlines, wrestled with technology, printers, I'm looking at you, and created never-ending to-do lists. We've all learned not only how to best teach our subjects through the dedication of our fantastic subject knowledge and pedagogy tutors, but also how to help our students grow as people. We've mediated teenage arguments, been the voice of reason, and modelled values of kindness and respect to all our students. When I reflect on what I thought I wanted to be like as a teacher before I started, I thought about my love for my subject and what a privilege it is to share that with young people. I didn't think too much about values that I'd want to instil in my students, but I definitely do now. I think these are the values that we've utilised in our training year, like being resilient when things don't go to plan, changing lessons on the fly when they're just not getting it or your PowerPoint just refuses to load. We've all had really different journeys into teaching, some more straightforward than others, and this wealth of experience in our subject and in life has helped us in our teaching this year. It's not always been easy, we got there in the end. I've loved history since I was a really, really young child. Some of my earliest memories are of watching history documentaries with my granddad. Later, when I was about 8 years old, I completely disrupted a family holiday to Portugal by demanding that I was taken to an archaeological dig. When we got there, the dig was closed, but I was lucky enough to have a family that would take me back the next day. After studying history at Lancaster University, I started my PGCE right at the height of the COVID pandemic in September 2020. I left shortly afterwards to look after my granddad when he became ill and later passed away. And I'd love to say that the support, genuine care and kindness I was shown by the university is something I'll never forget. When we all applied to study at Leeds Trinity, we saw them advertised as being a university where you're a name, not a number, and that's definitely the case from my experience, and I believe from all yours as well. I returned in September 2021 after some excellent advice to take a year out, and I've never looked back thanks to the support of the staff and to my fellow graduates. Teaching is a challenging, tiring, frustrating, hilarious, rewarding and completely worthwhile profession, which I'm sure we're all proud to represent today. And having completed one placement in a Catholic school and attending a Catholic university, I think it would be remiss of me to not include at least one biblical quotation. So I'd like to share a quote from Galatians. "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we don't give up." As teachers, we don't give up and we stay the course to do what's best for our students, and this will always be worth our time and our effort. When we see the smiles when something just clicks or they get surprisingly good test results, we all want to make a difference. This course has given us the opportunity to share our strengths in our subject, our passion and knowledge. We've been challenged by master's assignments, by behaviour in schools and by young people and the impact of COVID who are still learning to socialise again. Today is a brilliant opportunity to reflect on our year and on the difference we've made. Every one of you today should be immensely proud of your achievements this year. We've worked for the best possible outcomes for our students and shown them that their education is worth fighting for. For every lesson that's gone wrong, every cup of tea that's gone cold, and every evening spent tinkering with a PowerPoint, it's all been worth it. There's been a child whose day has been made when we've said amazing work, and a spark that's been ignited for each of our subjects, and that's the privilege of working in education. Thank you to everybody working in schools to make a difference to young people. Thank you to our families and friends for listening to us and providing much needed cups of tea and coffee. Thank you to the admin staff for keeping us organised and helping us when we forgot to log into things. Thank you to the academic staff for sharing your knowledge, wisdom and good humour with us. Thank you to our mentors and host teachers for welcoming us into schools and helping us to become professionals. Thank you to our students for testing us in the best ways, always pushing us to be better and encouraging us. And a personal thank you from me to my fellow history teachers. I would not have got through this without your support and everybody I've been on placement with. And to my granddad, Stan Jefferson, for starting my love of history and being proud of me no matter what. To my gran for the cups of tea and toast, which definitely got me through my assignments. To my mum and dad for your encouragement, my sister for the distractions, and my partner Jo for always being there to listen to me, or at least pretend to. Congratulations to everybody on completing this year. I wish you all the best in your future careers in education and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. You and your classmates have achieved so much and have so much to be proud of. As we have all touched on during this ceremony, the past few years have been unprecedented as the world has responded to the COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to thank everyone here today for their incredible efforts and dedication as part of this. It has been inspiring to see, to work alongside, and to lead. To you, our graduates, congratulations and well done again for your very special achievements today. We look forward to hearing what comes next for you. Please remember that Leeds Trinity is your university, and we will be here for you whenever you need us. So when you are looking for your next job, are ready for the next academic challenge, or would simply like to stay in touch with fellow graduates, you can count on us to support you every step of the way. That concludes the ceremony. It gives me great pleasure to invite you all to join the reception in the atrium and join us at the marquee just outside as we continue the celebration. Now, may I please ask you to stand for the ceremony procession.